Canelo in Riyadh in May. The big fight.
Canelo's going back and forth with Turkey, and if that fight is off the table, are you really motivated still by becoming undisputed at 54? And yeah, like what's the biggest motivating goal or fight out there if the Canelo fight just can't happen?
To be honest, that was my motivation. Like, you know, it's
the highly anticipated fight between Canelo Alvarez and Jake Paul has been unexpectedly cancelled at the last minute.
Canelo in Riyadh in May. The big fight in the history of boxing. In September, then 2 more fights in 26. Don't miss with the line.
Reports initially suggested that Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez were set to face off in May, but the matchup never truly captivated boxing fans, who saw it more as a spectacle than a serious contest. While the fight would have generated buzz, many viewed it as a mismatch that prioritized entertainment over competition. However, any speculation was put to rest when Canelo opted for a different direction, signing a 4-fight deal with Riyadh Season, a series of high-profile boxing events in Saudi Arabia. This move effectively shut down any possibility of a bout with Paul, confirming that Canelo's focus remains on legacy-defining matchups rather than novelty fights.
easy work. I heard him say, I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you know, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want 200 million for Benavidez, and he want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him.
Instead, Canelo Alvarez will face an unnamed opponent in May before stepping into the ring for a highly anticipated showdown against Terence Crawford in September, a fight that promises to be far more compelling for true boxing fans.
One of the sticking points is maybe the weight.
Do you think it's likely then we do see a Canelo and Jake Paul fight then, at this moment in time?
Money have determined that, won't it? You know, everybody said they want to see Jake Paul fight somebody. He's going to be fighting somebody. Tough fight. I mean, I want to see the Crawford.
This move highlights the stark contrast between Alvarez's legacy-driven career and Jake Paul's approach, which has largely focused on creating viral moments rather than taking on elite competition. With the Canelo fight off the table, Paul now finds himself without a scheduled opponent for his next bout, leaving fans speculating about his next move.
I think that if the fight happens, everybody will be watching it. And I think that Canelo will win the fight. I would say maybe at the...
Meanwhile, his promoter, Eddie Hearn, had previously suggested that the fight with Canelo was all but finalized, but that narrative has now completely unraveled.
I mean this respectfully to Jake Paul. This is Canelo we're talking about. This fight doesn't last a round. Like, if Canelo wanted to get Jake Paul out of there in a round, in a minute, I believe he does that. Again, this is no discredit to Jake Paul. I think what Jake Paul's done in the sport of boxing has been incredible. I think what him and his brother have done in just the world of entertainment has been incredible. But Jake Paul is fighting potentially a guy that's what, top 5, top 6 pound for pound, a guy that's only lost to Dimitri Bivol and Floyd Mayweather, a guy that's still very much at the top of his game. The kahunas and Jake Paul to wanting to get in the ring with Canelo at this stage of Canelo's career. This isn't an Anderson Silva, this isn't a Mike Tyson, this is a legit live boxer. It's crazy, but considering the numbers they did on Netflix, I can imagine Nikisa and Jake Paul sitting down with Netflix and saying, okay, how do we...
Jake Paul, known for his outlandish antics and ability to generate spectacle, had been vocal about his desire to fight Canelo Alvarez. However, most boxing experts never saw the matchup as a legitimate challenge for the Mexican superstar.
To the Jake Paul fight, I don't know. I mean, look, Canelo, I say always, Canelo don't care, right? Give him the money, and he's going to fight. He doesn't really have, and this isn't a negative towards him, because he makes it clear he has no loyalty to anyone, right? None to me, none to PBC, none to Turki Alalshikh.
Promoter Frank Warren dismissed the idea, calling it a mismatch due to the vast differences in size, experience, and skill. Concerns also arose over the weight disparity between the two, further fueling skepticism about the fight's legitimacy.
The talk was a Crawford fight. Now it looks like the Jake Paul fight is done, by all accounts. So, does that make the Crawford fight less appealing? Because he's kind of moving into that world now. And I don't blame him, because he's going to make an absolute fortune.
Many in the boxing community questioned whether it was ever a serious consideration. Warren, like many others, believed a showdown between Canelo and Terence Crawford would be a far more competitive and meaningful fight, one that could truly captivate the boxing world.
People that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov?
Despite his unconventional rise in boxing, Jake Paul is still widely regarded as more of a spectacle than a serious contender. While his accomplishments in celebrity boxing have drawn attention, they fall far short of what's needed to challenge an elite fighter like Canelo Alvarez. Veteran trainer Jeff Mayweather weighed in, predicting that a fight between Paul and Canelo wouldn't last long, likely ending within 5 rounds.
Move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything.
He acknowledged Paul's punching power, but emphasized that Canelo's superior skill set would make the matchup completely one-sided. While Paul's antics keep him in the headlines, the reality is that he's nowhere near Alvarez's level in the ring.
Canelo's one of the number 1 pound-for-pound guys. Crawford's one of the number 1 pound-for-pound guys. If anybody can do it, it's Bud, and Bud only.
If anyone can, but will.
I don't know what's going to happen. You know who I'm rooting for is Bud. Canelo is my favorite fighter today. Bud's one of my favorite fighters today. But I've watched Canelo since he started. But I would be Team Bud for that fight. And
boxing analyst Oladipo emphasized the vast skill gap between Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez. While acknowledging Paul's success in both boxing and entertainment, he highlighted the undeniable difference in experience. He speculated that if Canelo truly wanted to, he could end the fight within a minute. Oladipo's remarks weren't meant to completely discredit Paul, but rather to illustrate the significant disparity between their careers.
Now, let's just witness Canelo Alvarez again in a masterclass performance.
I love Terence Crawford, and I want him to have what he wants. But off of what I saw tonight and what I saw in Los Angeles last month when Crawford was fighting Madrimov, I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough, and not big enough to be able to move around the ring and muscle Canelo in the way that he would have to ward off those really vicious inside.
While Paul is still in the early stages of his boxing journey, Canelo has already cemented his legacy as one of the sport's greats. For most in the boxing community, this fight was always seen as more of a spectacle than a legitimate contest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little difficult because you got to, what do you have to put on, like an extra 14 pounds, so he might be a little slower, or who knows, he could be faster, I don't know, like it's just, you got to add more weight and gain more muscle and stuff like that, moving up the weight and things like that, so it's a little harder, but I don't know, we'll see on fight night.
Eddie Hearn, who has worked with both Canelo Alvarez and Jake Paul, has been vocal about the business side of this potential fight. He made it clear that Canelo's top priority is financial gain, and if the money is right, he's willing to fight almost anyone, regardless of whether they are a legitimate challenger. Hearn acknowledged Paul's ambition in stepping up to challenge Canelo, recognizing the massive financial upside. However, he also admitted that from a sporting perspective, the fight lacked the same appeal as a showdown between Canelo and Terence Crawford.
One of those special guys. I don't care if you guys are tired of me saying it. I look at him, look, Canelo's special too. I get it. And he's bigger. I get that too. And if everyone's going to say, well, after Madrimov fight again, had a couple hiccups, now he's stepping up another weight class. Now he's got to fight Canelo, who's even bigger, stronger, better puncher, you know, a unified champion that he's been, you know, all of that stuff.
Which would be far more meaningful for boxing. Hearn has previously criticized Paul's antics, often questioning his credibility in the sport.
I go to the other side. I say, okay, yeah, can Canelo handle the smaller guy who's going to be faster, who's going to be slicker, who's going to be better defensively, who's going to have better legs, you know, who's going to be able sometimes Canelo at this point in his career can slow down a little.
Still, he conceded that a fight between Paul and Canelo would generate enormous revenue, reflecting a larger trend in modern boxing, where financial incentives often outweigh traditional competitive merit. While such a fight would undoubtedly draw attention,
sharing the ring with him and doing the camps with him, what benefits would Crawford had to be fighting against a bigger man? Is it the ring IQ, dominating the center? Like, what benefits do you think he has?
You need everything in the game. You need from your ring IQ, you need the movement, you need the power, you need the speed. And Crawford does hit hard. A lot of people don't give Crawford the credit for the punch power he has. But Crawford does hit hard. I mean, I've been in the ring with him. He's hit me hard. Obviously, the most powerful fighter in between the two is going to be Canelo, but I think
it would do more to entertain casual fans than serve as a serious contest showcasing elite boxing skills.
One of the first lessons which I should learn, it's like you should respect weight classes. You know, yeah, what it means. But Terence Crawford now is one of the favorite fighters, active fighters. I mean, he has good skills, very good skills.